Hera. 101 languages. Hera. Queen of the gods. Goddess of marriage, women, marital harmony, and the protector of women during childbirth. Member of the 12 Olympians. The Campana Hera, a Roman copy of a Hellenistic original, from the Louvre. Major cult center Argos, Mycenae, Samos. Abode Mount Olympus. Animals cow, cuckoo, peacock. Symbol pomegranate, scepter, crown, polos or diadem. Genealogy. Parents Cronus and Rhea. Siblings Poseidon, Hades, Demeter, Hestia, Zeus. Consort Zeus. Children Angelos, Arch, Ars, the chariots, Aletheia, Eleutheria, Ares, Heb, Hephaestus. Equivalents. Roman Juno. For other uses, see Hera, disambiguation. In ancient Greek. Religion, Hera. /HR, /C. TFD Greek. Translate. HRA with Macron. HR in Ionic and Homeric Greek, is the goddess of marriage, women, and family, and the protector of women during childbirth. In Greek mythology, she is queen of the 12 Olympians, and Mount Olympus, sister and wife of Zeus, and daughter of the Titans Cronus and Rhea. One of her defining characteristics in myth is her jealous and vengeful nature in dealing with any who offended her, especially Zeus's numerous adulterous lovers and illegitimate offspring. Her iconography usually presents her as a dignified, matronly figure, upright or enthroned, crowned with a polos or diadem. Sometimes veiled as a married woman. 1. She is the patron goddess of lawful marriage. She presides over weddings, blesses and legalizes marital unions, and protects women from harm during childbirth. Her sacred checked. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. Iris, on the left, Zeus and Hera. Part of the central section East Frieze of Parthenon, Elgin Marbles British Museum. Animals include the cow, cuckoo, and peacock. She is sometimes shown holding a pomegranate as an emblem of immortality. Her Roman counterpart is Juno. 2. Etymology, edit. The name Hera, Ra or HR, has several possible and mutually exclusive etymologies. One possibility is to connect it with Greek Ra, season, and to interpret it as ripe for marriage and according to Plato Erat. Beloved, 3, as Zeus is said to have married her for love. 4. According to Plutarch, Hera was an allegorical name and an anagram of Hera. 5. So begins the section on Hera in Walter Burkert's Greek religion. 6. In a note, he records other scholars' arguments for the meaning. Mistress as a feminine to heroes, master, with uncertain origin. John Chadwick, a decipherer of Linear B, remarks. Her name may be connected with HRS, hero, but that is no help since it too is etymologically obscure. 7. A. J. Van Windekens, 8, offers young cow, heifer, which is consonant with Hera's common epithet. Bupis, cow-eyed. R.S.P. Beeks has suggested a pre-Greek origin. 9. Her name is attested in Mycenaean Greek written in the Linear B syllabic script as Hera, appearing on tablets found in Pylos and Thebes, 10, as well as in the Cypriotic dialect in the dative era I. 11. The pi could be originally either a. the female who is attached / coupled, or b. the female who attaches herself, both socially and physically or emotionally. 12. Many theophoric names such as Heracles, Heraclitus, Herodotus, Herodicus, derive from Hera. 13. Epithets, edit. Hera bore several epithets in the mythological tradition and in literature. In the historical times the majority of the Greeks recognized Hera as the consort of Zeus. 14. Hera is the protector of marriage and of the rights of the married women. 15. In some cults she has some functions of the earth goddess. She is occasionally related to warfare as tutelary goddess. Goddess of marriage and bride, edit. Gamlios, presiding over marriage. A sacrifice to Hera ensured a happy married life. 16. Gamslos, leading the troop of marriage. 15. Nymphwoman, led as a bride at Plataea, in relation to her festival Daedala. 17, 18. Nymph, bride. 15. Parthenos, virgin, 15. Parthenia, 19. Final sigma, Pais, child, in her role as virgin, at Stymphalos. 20, 15. Syzygios, patroness of marriage, 21, 15. Teleia, bringing the fulfillment of marriage. 20, 18. Zygia, yoke of marriage. Her husband Zeus had also the epithet Zygius. 22. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. CHR, widowed at Stymphalos. 20. Consort of Zeus, edit. Anasa, queen. 18. Ammonia, at Elis related to Zeusammon, 23. Basileia, queen at Elijus in Rhodes, 19. Basilis, queen at Libadia and Argus. 16. Din, as the consort of Zeus at Dodona. 18. Neoch, at Libadia. She was worshipped together with Zeus Basilus. 16. Olympia, with an altar near the altar of Olympian Zeus. 24. Skptachos, bearing a scepter, queen. 18. Founder and protector, edit. Archgetis, founder, leader of the settlement at Samos. 16. Alpha, Acra, she, of the heights, Acropolis, 25, 26. Bauna, she, of the mound, in Corinth, 27, 28. As an earth and fertility goddess, edit. Anthea, meaning flowery at Argus and Miletos. 29, 30. Bapis, cow-eyed. 19, probably a form of the earth goddess. Ge, earth by Plutarch in a passage of Eusebius. 18. Euagesia, doing a good service, 24, 31. Eukidia, yoking the oxen at Argus. 18. Pamphtos, repeatedly coming. Pamphoitos anasa, 18. Pheresbios, life-giving. By Empedocles, Plutarch. 18. Relitos, at Samos as the controller of the seasons and times of the year, Hori, 16. As goddess of the hymns, edit. Euclidos, well-sounding, melodious. 18. Prasimna, goddess of the hymn at Argus. 16. Place of worship, edit. Arch, she, of Argus. Hera was probably the goddess of the palace. 15. Imbras, after the river Imbrasus at Samos. 24. Khandan, at the city Khandra of Asia Minor. 24. Ithionia, of the mountain Kithion in Gittia, in relation with her fest day Dela. 24. Limania, of the harbour at Paracera near the Isthmus of Corinth. 32. Pelasgis, at Iolcus. A sacrifice was performed to Hera by Peleus. 18. 33. Samia, with a famous temple at Samos. 15. Farraga, at the city Farragae of Lacris. 24. Warlike character, edit. Alexandros, protector of men, among the Sicyonians. Her cult was founded by Adrastus. 16. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. Oplosmia, bearing arms or shield at Elis. 16. Prodromia, running forward at Sicyon. 16. Tropper, giver of victory. 24. Local cults, edit. Alpha, Agaphagus, goat-eater among the Lacedaemonians. 34. 18. Aletheia, at Argos and Athens as goddess of childbirth. 35. In Theogony Aletheia is the daughter of Hera. Elea, of the marsh at Cyprus. 19. Thelxenia, at Athens. 36. 35. Theonta, mother of a god at Samos. 37. Hippia, of the horse at Olympia. 24. 38. Lacinia, at Croton. 39. 19. Elglenos, white-armed. 40. Melikios, gentle, like Zeus Melikios at Selinus. 41. 42. Lycia, gentle, with gentle words at Hieropatna. 41. Telchinia Diodorus Siculus write that she was worshipped by the Aeolisians and the Camerans. Both were on the island of Rhodes. She was named thus because according to a legend, Telchins were the first inhabitants of the island and also the first who created statues of gods. 43. Eupachiria, with the hand above at Sparta. 44. 19. Origins, edit. In historical times, the majority of the Greeks recognized Hera as the consort of Zeus. 14. Zeus was the protector of rights and mores, and his partner Hera became the protector of legal marriage and the rights of married women. 15. Hera emerged from a form of the Mycenaean goddess of the palace and became the spouse of Zeus. 45. 1. Modern scholars suggest that Hera is not only the Olympian sky goddess, but in some cults she may be identified with the earth goddess. 46. 47. Her ancient connection with her sacred animal, the cow, still existed in historical times. She is probably related to Near Eastern forms of cow goddesses such as Atha or Bat. 45. The Greek earth goddess Gaia is occasionally identified with Hera. 48. Gaia may be related to the Vedic earth goddess Prithvi, who was also associated with the cow. 49. Mycenaean Greece, edit. An inscription in Linear B on a tablet found at Pylos mentions offerings to Zeus Hera Drimios. Drimios is the son of Zeus. 50. Hera was the tutelary goddess of Argos and it is possible that she had Mycenaean origin. 1. Martin P. Nilsson suggested that Hera is mainly the Argia, a name given by Homer, 51, which describes her not as Greek, but as an Argive goddess. She is the protectress of the citadel. 52. In literature Argos is called Tmo. Ras, the house of Hera, 53, and the Argives are called her people by Pindar. 16. Homer in Iliad uses the formula Bapis Potnia hr, cow-eyed, mistress Hera, which probably relates her to a form of the Mediterranean goddess of nature. 54. 45. The epithet Cowijae, Bapis, appears in a Linear B inscription. 55. Walter Burkert notices that it is difficult to confirm that the epithet Bopis corresponds to a Greek belief. 56. However, it is possible that Hera was conceived as a cow in her archaic cults. 45. 47. Consort of Zeus, edit. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. Hera exists as a spouse of Zeus, and their sacred marriage was celebrated in many Greek festivals in a processional ceremony from ancient times. 1. The myth of the premarital approach of Hera by Zeus is early mentioned by Homer. 57. It is possible that the myth has its origins to an old custom of the European country population, the premarital intercourse of the engaged couple. 58. According to Walter Burkert, the Mediterranean goddess of nature becomes the bride of the Greek sky god. 59. He notices that the disappearance and retrieval of Hera has parallels with other fertility cults. 60. 61. Hera was originally a goddess of fertility in her Festonia at Samos and at Knossos in Crete. At Samos the image of Hera was hidden mounted in willows, and the participants tried to discover it. 62. 63. At Knossos Zeus is mating with the earth goddess, finally named Hera, in a very ancient ritual. 1. In her festival Daedala at Plataea there is an account of Hera's quarrel with Zeus and their reconciliation. 64. 17. Near Eastern origin, edit. In Crete the bull was associated with religious practices. In the legend of the Minotaur the queen of Knossos is hidden inside an artificial hollow cow, and she is mating with a bull form god in a sacred ceremony. The Hieros Gamos indicates a ritual of fertility magic, which was probably introduced from Near East in the Aegean region. 65. The Hieros Gamos of Zeus with the earth goddess, finally named Hera, was celebrated at Knossos in Crete. 1. 65. In Near East the solar deity and the moon goddess are often represented as a bull and a cow. 65. And Rosca proposed that Hera was a moon goddess. 66. The combination feminine divinity cow-moon is not unusual in Crete and Near East. 65. The relationship of Hera with the cow still existed in the historical times, and this probably relates her to Near Eastern forms of cow goddesses like Atha, or Bat. 45. The Egyptian sky goddess. Atha is the consort of the sky god Horus. Indo-European origin, edit. In the Vedic tradition the earth goddess Prithvi is the consort of the sky god Dios, and she is associated with the cow. Prithvi may be identified with the Greek goddess Gaia. 49. Pherecydes of Syros in his cosmogony describes the mating of two divine principles, the marriage of Zaz with Chthoni. Geoffrey Kirk notices that after the marriage Chthoni becomes Ge, who probably takes charge of the protection of marriage. Hera is occasionally identified with Ge. 48. In a fragment of Euripides the ether of Zeus is the sky god who is the father of men and gods, and the earth goddess Ge is the mother of all life. 67. It seems that Io, the priestess of Hera at Argos and consort of Zeus, was another form of Hera. In a Greek myth Io is transformed into a cow. 68. This seems to be correlated to how Homer in Iliad uses the formula Bapis Potnia hr, cow-eyed, mistress Hera, suggesting that they may have been syncretized. 69-46. Cult, edit. The worship of Hera was sparse in Thessaly, Attica, Phasis and Achaea. In Gytia she is related to the Fest Daedala. The main center of her cult was northeastern Peloponnese, especially Argolis, Argos, Tiryns, Corinth, Sicyon, Epidaurus and Hermione. She was worshipped at the Arcadian cities Mantinea, Megalopolis, Stymphalus and at Sparta. The oldest temple at Olympia belonged to Hera. In the islands she was worshipped at Samos, Paros, Delos, Amorgos, Thro, Kos, Rhodes and Crete. The island Euboea was considered her holy place. A month was named after Hera at Delphi, Heraios, Olos, Laconia, Tynos, Herain, Pergamos. Heraus. 70-71. Hera is the Olympia, Queen, Anasa, the Queen of Heaven. The royal quality of her was preserved by the monuments of Greek art. 72. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. Hera on an antique fresco from Pompeii. The Temple of Hera at Agrigento, Magna Graecia. Hera may have been the first deity to whom the Greeks dedicated an enclosed roofed temple sanctuary, at Samos about 800 BCE. It was replaced later by the Heraion of Samos, one of the largest of all Greek temples. Altars were in front of the temples under the open sky. There were many temples built on this site, so the evidence is somewhat confusing, and archaeological dates are uncertain. The temple created by the Recuse sculptors and architects was destroyed between 570 and 560 BCE. This was replaced by the Polycratian temple of 545–30 BCE. In one of these temples, we see a forest of 155 columns. There is also no evidence of tiles on this temple suggesting either the temple was never finished or that the temple was open to the sky. Earlier sanctuaries, whose dedication to Hera is less certain, were of the Mycenaean type called house sanctuaries. 73. Samos excavations have revealed votive offerings, many of them late 8th and 7th centuries BCE, which show that Hera at Samos was not merely a local Greek goddess of the Aegean. The museum there contains figures of gods and suppliants and other votive offerings from Armenia, Babylon, Iran, Assyria, and Egypt, testimony to the reputation which this sanctuary of Hera enjoyed, and the large influx of pilgrims. Compared to this mighty goddess, who also possessed the earliest temple at Olympia and two of the great 5th and 6th century temples of Paestum, the Termagant of Homer and the myths is an almost comic figure according to Burkert. 74. Though the greatest and earliest freestanding temple to Hera was the Heraion of Samos, in the Greek mainland Hera was especially worshipped as Argive Hera, Hera Argia, at her sanctuary that stood between the former Mycenaean city-states of Argos and Mycenae, 75-76, where the festivals in her honor called Hera were celebrated. The three cities I love best she declares in the Iliad, Book 4, are Argos, Sparta and Mycenae of the broad streets. There were also temples to Hera in Olympia, Corinth, Tiryns, Paracora and the sacred island of Delos. In Magna Graecia, two Doric Temples to Hera were constructed at Paestum, about 550 BCE and about 450 BCE. One of them, long called the Temple of Poseidon, was identified in the 1950s as a Temple of Hera. 77. The Daedala fire festival on Cithaeron near Plataea included an account of Hera's quarrel with Zeus and their reconciliation. 78. Hera's importance in the early Archaic period is attested by the large building projects undertaken in her honor. The temples of Hera in the two main centers of her cult, the Heraion of Samos and the Heraion of Argos in the Argolis, were the very earliest monumental Greek temples constructed, in the 8th century BCE. 46. At Argos the Dorian Heraion was built on the hill of Prosimna near Mycenaean hero tombs. 46. At Samos the cult activity near the altar begun in late Mycenaean period and a big altar was built in the 9th century BC. 79. Importance, edit. According to Walter Burkert, both Hera and Demeter have many characteristic attributes of pre-Greek great goddesses. 80. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. Roman copy of a Greek 5th century Hera of the Barberini Hera type. From the Museo Chiaramonti. In the same vein, British scholar Charles Francis Keary suggests that Hera had some sort of earth goddess worship in ancient times, 81, 82, 83, connected to her possible origin as a Pelasgian goddess, as mentioned by Herodotus. 84, 83, in Greece the Mediterranean goddess of nature is the bride of the Greek sky god. In her fest, Daedala Hera is related to the nymph Plataea, consort of Zeus, an old forgotten form of the Greek earth goddess. 59. Plataea may be related to Gaia, who is occasionally identified with Hera. 48, 85. According to Homeric hymn 2 to Delian Apollo, Hera detained Eileithyia to prevent Leto from going into labor with Artemis and Apollo, since the father was Zeus. The other goddesses present at the birthing on Delos sent Iris to bring her. As she stepped upon the island, the divine birth began. In the myth of the birth of Heracles, it is Hera herself who sits at the door, delaying the birth of Heracles until her protege, Eurystheus, had been born first. 86. The Homeric hymn to Pythian Apollo makes the monster Typhaon the offspring of archaic Hera in her ancient form, produced out of herself, like a monstrous version of Hephaestus, and whelped in a cave in Cilicia. 87. She gave the creature to Python to raise. In the temple of Hera, Olympia, Hera's seated cult figure was older than the warrior figure of Zeus that accompanied it. Homer expressed her relationship with Zeus delicately in the Iliad, in which she declares to Zeus, "I am Cronos' eldest daughter, and am honorable not on this ground only, but also because I am your wife, and you are king of the gods." 69. Matriarchy, edit. There has been considerable scholarship, reaching back to Johann Jacob Barchofen in the mid-19th century, 88, about the possibility that Hera, whose early importance in Greek religion is firmly established, was originally the goddess of a matriarchal people, presumably inhabiting Greece before the Hellenes. In this view, her activity as goddess of marriage established the patriarchal bond of her own subordination. Her resistance to the conquests of Zeus is rendered as Hera's jealousy, the main theme of literary anecdotes that undercut her ancient cult. 89. However, It remains a controversial claim that an ancient matriarchy or a cultural focus on a monotheistic great goddess existed among the ancient Greeks or elsewhere. The claim is generally rejected by modern scholars as insufficiently evidenced. 90. Walter Burkert notices that the ancient Korotrophos figure is almost absent in Crete, and the nomination mother goddess was not the underlying principle in the Minoan religion. 91. Youth, edit. Hera was most known as the matron goddess, Hera Teleia, but she presided over weddings as well. In myth and cult, fragmentary references and archaic practices remain of the sacred marriage of Hera and Zeus. 92. At Plataea, there was a sculpture of Hera seated as a bride by Callimachus, as well as the matronly standing Hera. 93. Hera was also worshipped as a virgin. There was a tradition in Stymphalia in Arcadia that there had been a triple shrine to Hera the girl, Pais, the adult woman, Teleia, and the separated, chr. widowed or divorced. 94. In the region around Argos, the temple of Hera in Hermione near Argos was to Hera the Virgin. 95. At the spring of Kanathos, close to Nauplia, Hera renewed her virginity annually, in rites that were. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. Not to be spoken of, a written. 96. In her fire festival Daedala at Plataea the puppet of the goddess was bathed in the river Asopos before the wedding ceremony. In the festival Tonia at Samos the image of the goddess was purified, mounted in willows and then probably hanged on a tree. 97. Robert Graves interprets this as a representation of the new moon, Heb, full moon, Hera, and old moon, Hecate, respectively personifying the Virgin, spring, the mother, summer, and the destroying crone, autumn. 98, 99. Festivals, edit. The marriage of Zeus with Hera is the main theme in most Greek festivals celebrated in honor of the goddess. In the cults of Hera the dances and rites are performed by young married women. These choral dances reenacted early myth and ritual. 100. Burkert notices that the disappearing and retrieval of Hera in some cults has parallels with other fertility cults. 60. The Greek etiological myths, Asia, give a reasonable explanation of the ritual and replicate its structural form. This is accurate for Asia related to initiation rituals from youth to maturity. 101. Ancient accounts refer to the retirement of Hera after a quarrel with Zeus. Hera's wrath may indicate the wrath and jealousy of the Greek wife. 102. Other accounts refer to cultic trees or pillars. 103. And rituals of the goddess of vegetation. 63. Some accounts are related to rituals of the Bronze Age before the splitting of the mistress of the animals into separate goddesses. 104. Argus. During Hera's famous fest Hecatomba, 100 oxen, or Argive Hera the priestess of Hera, was carried on a chart drawn by white heifers to the sanctuary. The festival included an armed procession of male citizens and the prize of the contest was a bronze shield. 105. The Argive festival was a New Year festival, and the new male citizens introduced themselves in the community. It is not verified that the festival was originally a wedding processional ceremony. 106. At Argos Hera controlled the seasonal goddesses. Hori. 1646. Near the Heraion of Argos there was the stream Eleutheraion, water of freedom. The priestess of Hera used it for purifications and the sacrifices were kept secret. Aporita, 107. Plataea Ingitia. The festival Daedala of Hera was a fire festival. The citizens of Plataea maintained from prehistoric times the processional wedding ceremony. A puppet named Hera was married with Zeus. The puppet was washed in the river Asopos and it was carried on a cow-drawn cart to the top of Kithion. There, the puppet was burned together with other idols. Pausanias in the etiological myth mentions the retirement of Hera after a quarrel with Zeus and their reconciliation. 78. The nymph Plataea, consort of Zeus, is an old form of the Greek earth goddess and she may be related to Gaia. 85. Samos. The name of the island was Parthenia in the Carian period. 105. In the Samian festival Tonia, Hera was originally a goddess of fertility. The festival included initiation rites of girls and probably boys from youth to maturity. 104. At the beginning of the festival a Xonon of Hera was carried on a plank to the sea and then back to the coast. This custom reminds the cult of the Hittite Hurrian god of fertility Telepinu. 61. In the etiological myth of Menidotus the image of Hera was bathed, mounted in willows and finally hidden, or hanged. The participants tried to find it. 105. 63. Zeus was absent, and the processional wedding ceremony was introduced later. 62. Corinth. Hera Acraea was the protectress of the castle. The Corinthian Hera was a mourning festival. Hera is related to Mede, the wife of Jason, a foreign goddess who was introduced in Greece. In the myth of the Argonauts, Hera is the protectress of Jason. The Scholiast of Euripides suggests that the cult of Acraea is related to the cult of Adonis. Every year 7 boys and 7 girls with shorn hair and wearing black garments were dedicated to the goddess. Annual sacrifices were performed for the killed children of Mede. 108. Stymphalus in Arcadia. Hera was worshipped as goddess of marriage. 3 festivals celebrated the 3 phases of Hera as Pais, virgin, Teleia, fulfilled, and Chera, widowed. Pais may symbolize the arrival of. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. Jupiter and Juno on Mount Ida. By James Barry, 1773, City Art Galleries, Sheffield. The goddess in spring and Chera her departure in winter. In the etiological myth of Pausanias, Hera retired after a quarrel with Zeus and then she came back. During her retirement people considered that she was divorced and she was worshipped as Chera. 92. Euboea. The island was the holy place of Hera and the goddess was worshipped near Elimnion or on the mountain Durfey. Coins from Eritrea verify that the citizens imitated the wedding of Zeus with Hera. 109. Athens. The sacred marriage of Zeus with Hera was celebrated in Athens during the month Gamlion, late winter. 105. Hermione in Argolis. Hera was worshipped as Parthenos, virgin. In a Greek myth Zeus was transformed into a cuckoo to seduce Hera. There were 2 temples, one of Zeus on the mountain Cuckoo and one of Hera on the mountain Pran. 105. Olympia. In the festival Hera young girls competed in a foot race. The race was held every 4 years and only virgin women were allowed to attend the games. The prize was an olive wreath. 110. Traditionally the custom was established by Hippodamia and choral dances were performed in honor of her. A marriage ceremony was probably part of the festival. 111. The choral dances and the dressing of Parthenoi indicate that the festival was an initiation ritual from youth to maturity. 112. The relation of Hera with Parthenoi, virgins, seems to connect her with the goddess of vegetation. 104. 101. Aegina. Traditionally the festival was introduced from Argos. The image of Hera was carried on a chart drawn by white heifers. The festival included games and sacrifices. There was a contest between young boys for killing a female goat with their spears and they got her as a prize. In the etiological myth Hera retired to the woods after a quarrel with Zeus and her place was discovered by a female goat. Then she was obliged to return. 111. Now Playa in Argolis. Like the bride who took her bride bath, Hera bathed every year in the spring Canathos and recovered annually her virginity. This is one of the holy secrets, aporita, at the mysteries which they celebrated in honor of Hera. 96. Knossos in Crete. The hieroskamos of Zeus with the earth goddess, finally named Hera, was celebrated near the river then. The ritual continued unchanged from very ancient times. 1. The original name of the Minoan goddess could be Britomartis, Dictina or Halopis. 65. On a Minoan depiction the goddess seems to arrive on a chariot during spring and she disappears in winter. 62. Emblems, edit. In Hellenistic imagery, Hera's chariot was pulled by peacocks, birds not known to Greeks before the conquests of Alexander. Alexander's tutor, Aristotle, refers to it as the Persian bird. The peacock motif was revived in the Renaissance iconography that unified Hera and Juno. 113. A bird that had been associated with Hera on an archaic level, when most of the Aegean goddesses were associated with their bird, was the cuckoo, which appears in mythic fragments concerning the first wooing of a virginal Hera by Zeus. Her archaic association was primarily with cattle, as a cow goddess, who was especially venerated in cattle-rich Euboea. On Cyprus, very early archaeological sites contain bull skulls that have been adapted for use as masks. See bull mythology. Her familiar Homeric epithet bupis is always translated cow-eyed. In this respect, Hera bears some resemblance to the ancient Egyptian deity Atha. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. Plan of the Temple of Hera. Olympia Heraion. First Temple of Hera, Paestum, Basilica Heraion of Samos. A reconstruction of the Polycrates Temple, front view. Maternal goddess associated with cattle. Hera absorbed the cult of her heifer priestess Io and may be related to the Vedic earth goddess Prithvi. 47. Scholar of Greek mythology Walter Burkert writes in Greek religion, nevertheless, there are memories of an earlier aniconic representation, as a pillar in Argos and as a plank in Samos. At Argos in a Greek myth the priestess of Hera Phoronis ties her mistress to an aniconic pillar. At Samos Hera's plank was tied on a willow tree to ensure fertility. 6. Temples of Hera, edit. Parakara, Corinth. One from the earliest Greek temples was The temple dedicated to Hera Akra at Parakara, built in the 9th century BC. The dimensions of the plan were 5,50 x 8,00 m. A Trakatal house temple model indicates that it was an upsidal building with one room. The walls were made from small stones and dried bricks. Here were 2 pairs of, probably wooden, columns, and the high-peaked roof was covered with straws. 114. Olympia. The Hera was built in late 7th century BC, 620 BC. It was a Doric-style peripteral temple measured 18,75 x 50,01 m at the stylobate. The number of the originally wooden tron columns was 6 x 16, hexastyle. Wooden columns were later replaced with columns from limestone. The temple had pronaos, cella, and the oldest known opisthodemos. The porches were distal in antes. A colossal head of a woman is probably a part of a statue dedicated to Hera. It was made from limestone. 115, 116. Corfu. The archaic temple of Hera was built in 610 BC. Large terracotta figures such as lions and gorgonians decorated the roof of the temple. The temple was completely destroyed by fire in the 5th century BC. 117. Samos. The older Hera was built in 560 BC. It was a dipteral temple with Ionic order features. It measured 50,50 x 103,00 m at the stylobate and the number of tron columns was 10 x 21. The temple formed a unit with the monumental altar of Hera to the east, which shared its alignment and axis. It was constructed partly of limestone and partly of marble. Herodotus calls Racuse of Samos its first architect. It was the first of the massive Ionic temples. 118. Samos. The new Hera was built in 525 BC and it is called the Polycrates Temple. The temple measured 54,58 x 111,50 m at the stylobate. It was dipteral on the flanks and tripteral at the ends. The outer row had 8 x 24 columns except that at the back there were 9 columns. The forms of the capitals resembled the ones at Ephesus, but the volutes were wider. 119. Selinus. The Doric temple Temple of Hera, was built in 490 BC. It measured 25.32 x 67.82 m at the stylobate and the number of tron columns was 6 x 15. The porches were distal in antes. 120. Paestum. The first temple of Hera, the so-called basilica, was built in the early 6th century BC. It was an extraordinary building with a central row of inner columns. The Doric-style temple measured 24,52 x 54,30 m at the stylobate, and the number of tron columns was 9 x 18. There were 3 columns in antes in its porch. 121. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. Salinunt Temper Temple of Hera. Agrigento Temple of Hera. Hera, according to inscription. Tondo of an Attic white ground. Kylix from Volsi, ca. 470 BCE. Paestum. A Doric temple dedicated to Hera, the so-called Temple of Poseidon, was built in the first half of the 5th century BC and is usually placed later than Parthenon. The temple measured 24,3 x 60,00 m at the stylobate. It was an hexastyle structure and the number of tron columns was 6 x 14. 122. The temple was also used to worship Zeus and another deity, whose identity is unknown. Agrigento. The temple of Hera, Juno Lacinia, was a Doric-style peripteral building, built in 450 BC. It measured 16,90 x 38,15 m at the stylobate and the cella measured 9.45 x 28,00 m. The number of tron columns was 6 x 13. 123. Argus. The predecessor of the Heraion was built in late 7th century BC and has left little traces. The long stow of the Heraion is dated from the late 7th to 6th century BCE. 124. Argus. The new Heraion was built in c. 410 BC after the burning of its predecessor in 423 BC. It measured 17,40 x 38,00 m at the stylobate and the dimensions of the cella were c. 10,00 x c. 27,00 m. The number of tron columns cannot be specified. 125. Mythology, edit. Birth, edit. Hera is the daughter of the Titans Cronus and Rhea, and the sibling of Hestia, Demeter, Hades, Poseidon, and Zeus. 126. Cronus was fated to be overthrown by one of his children. To prevent this, he swallowed all of his newborn children whole until Rhea tricked him into swallowing a stone instead of her youngest child, Zeus. Zeus grew up in secret, and when he grew up he tricked his father into regurgitating his siblings, including Hera. Zeus then led the revolt against the Titans, banished them, and divided the dominion over the world with his brothers, Poseidon and Hades. 127. Other traditions, however, appear to give Hera different upbringings. Pausanias states that she was nursed as an infant by the three daughters of the river Asterion, Euboea, Prosimna, and Acra. 128. Furthermore, in the Iliad, Hera states she was given by her mother to Tethys to be raised. I go now to the ends of the generous earth, on a visit to the ocean, whence the gods have risen, and Tethys our mother who brought me up kindly in their own house, and cared for me and took me from Rhea, at that time when Zeus of the wide brows drove Cronos underneath the earth and the barren water. 129. Marriage with Zeus, edit. Hera is the goddess of marriage and childbirth rather than motherhood, and much of her mythology revolves around her marriage with her brother Zeus. She is charmed by him and she seduces him, he cheats on her and explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. Marble statue of Hera, 2nd century, Cyprus Museum, Nicosia. God Council in Olympus, Zeus and Hera throning, Iris serving them. Detail of the cider of an Attic red figure belly amphora, ca. 500 BC. State-like Antikensum Lungeon. Munich. Has many children with other goddesses and mortal women. She is intensely jealous and vindictive towards his children and their mothers. He is threatening and violent to her. 60. In the Iliad, Zeus implies their marriage was some sort of elopement, as they lay secretly from their parents. 130, Pausanias records a tale of how they came to be married, in which Zeus transformed into a cuckoo to woo Hera. She caught the bird and kept it as her pet. This is why the cuckoo is seated on her scepter. 131, according to a scholion on Theocritus' Idyls, when Hera was heading toward Mount Thornax alone, Zeus created a terrible storm and transformed himself into a cuckoo who flew down and sat on her lap. Hera covered him with her cloak. Zeus then transformed back and took hold of her. Because she was refusing to sleep with him due to their mother, he promised to marry her. 132. In one account, Hera refused to marry Zeus and hid in a cave to avoid him. An earthborn man named Achilles convinced her to give him a chance, and thus the two had their first sexual intercourse. 133, according to a version attributed to Plutarch, Hera had been reared by a nymph named Macris on the island of Euboea, but Zeus stole her away, where Mount Cithaeron afforded them a shady recess. When Macris came to look for her ward, the mountain god Cithaeron drove her away, saying that Zeus was taking his pleasure therewith. Leto. 134. According to Callimachus, their wedding feast lasted 300 years. 135. The apples of the Hesperides that Heracles was tasked by Eurystheus to take were a wedding gift by Gaia to the couple. 136. After a quarrel with Zeus, Hera left him and retreated to Euboea, and no word from Zeus managed to sway her mind. Cithaeron, the local king, then advised Zeus to take a wooden statue of a woman, wrap it up, and pretend to marry it. Zeus did as told, claiming she was Platie, Aesopus's daughter. Hera, once she heard the news, disrupted the wedding ceremony and tore away the dress from the figure only to discover it was but a lifeless statue, and not a rival in love. The queen and her king were reconciled, and to commemorate this the people there celebrated a festival called Daedalus. 17. During the festival, a reenactment of the myth was celebrated, where a wooden statue of Hera was chosen, bathed in the river Aesopus, and then raised on a chariot to lead the procession like a bride, and then ritually burned. 137. According to Diodorus Siculus, Alcmene, the mother of Heracles, was the very last mortal woman Zeus ever slept with. Following the birth of Heracles, he ceased to beget humans altogether. 138. Heracles, edit. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. Heracles strangling the snakes. Sent by Hera, Attic red-figured. Stamos, ca. 484-70 BCE. From Volsci, Etruria. The Origin of the Milky Way by Jacopo Tintoretto, 1575. Hera is the stepmother and enemy of Heracles. The name Heracles means glory of Hera. In Homer's Iliad, when Alcmene was about to give birth to Heracles, Zeus announced to all the gods that on that day a child by Zeus himself would be born and rule all those around him. Hera, after requesting Zeus to swear an oath to that effect, descended from Olympus to Argos and made the wife of Sthenelus, son of Perseus, give birth to Eurystheus after only 7 months, while at the same time preventing Alcman from delivering Heracles. This resulted in the fulfillment of Zeus's oath in that it was Eurystheus rather than Heracles. 86. In Pausanias' recounting, Hera sent witches, as they were called by the Thebans, to hinder Alcman's delivery of Heracles. The witches were successful in preventing the birth until Historis, daughter of Tiresias, thought of a trick to deceive the witches. Like Galanthus, Historis announced that Alcman had delivered her child. Having been deceived, the witches went away, allowing Alcman to give birth. 139. Hera's wrath against Zeus's son continued, and while Heracles was still an infant, Hera sent 2 serpents to kill him as he lay in his cot. Heracles throttled the snakes with his bare hands and was found by his nurse playing with their limp bodies as if they were a child's toys. 140. One account of the origin of the Milky Way is that Zeus had tricked Hera into nursing the infant Heracles. Discovering who he was, she pulled him from her breast, and a spurt of her milk formed the smear across the sky that can be seen to this day. 141. Her milk also created a white flower, the lily. 142. Unlike any Greeks, the Etruscans instead pictured a full-grown bearded Heracles at Hera's breast, a reference to his adoption by her when he became an immortal. He had previously wounded her severely in the breast. When Heracles reached adulthood, Hera drove him mad, which led him to murder his family, and this later led to him undertaking his famous labors. Hera assigned Heracles to labor for King Eurystheus at Mycenae. She attempted to make almost all of Heracles's 12 labors more difficult. When he fought the Lernaean Hydra, she sent a crab to bite at his feet in the hopes of distracting him. Later Hera stirred up the Amazons against him when he was on one of his quests. When Heracles took the cattle of Trion, he shot Hera in the right breast with a triple barbed arrow. The wound was incurable and left her in constant pain, as Dion tells Aphrodite in the Iliad, Book V. Afterwards, Hera sent a gadfly to bite the cattle, irritate them and scatter them. Hera then sent a flood which raised the water level of a river so much that Heracles could not ford the river with the cattle. He piled stones into the river to make the water shallower. When he finally reached the court of Eurystheus, the cattle were sacrificed to Hera. Eurystheus also wanted to sacrifice the Cretan bull to Hera. She refused the sacrifice because it reflected glory on Heracles. The bull was released and wandered to Marathon, becoming known as the Marathonian bull. Some myths state that in the end, Heracles befriended Hera by saving her from Porphyrion, a giant who tried to rape her during the Gigantomachie, and that she even gave her daughter Hera as his bride. Whatever myth making served to account for an archaic representation of Heracles as Hera's man, it was thought suitable for the builders of the Heraion at Paestum to depict the exploits of Heracles in bas-relief. 143. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. I/O with Zeus by Giovanni Ambrogio Figino. 1599. Judgment of Paris. Side B from an attic. Black figure neck amphora, 540-530 BC. Metropolitan Museum of Art. Leto and the Twins, Apollo and Artemis, edit. When Hera discovered that Leto was pregnant and that Zeus was the father, she convinced the nature spirits to prevent Leto from giving birth on terra firma, the mainland, any island at sea, or any place under the sun. 144. Poseidon gave pity to Leto and guided her to the floating island of Delos, which was neither mainland nor a real island, where Leto was able to give birth to her children. 145. Afterwards, Zeus secured Delos to the bottom of the ocean. 146. The island later became sacred to Apollo. Alternatively, Hera kidnapped Eileithyia, the goddess of childbirth, to prevent Leto from going into labor. The other gods bribed Hera with a beautiful necklace nobody could resist, and she finally gave in. 147. Either way, Artemis was born first and then assisted with the birth of Apollo. 148. Some versions say Artemis helped her mother give birth to Apollo for 9 days. 147. Another variation states that Artemis was born 1 day before Apollo, on the island of Ortygia, and that she helped Leto cross the sea to Delos the next day to give birth to Apollo. Later, Tityos attempted to rape Leto at the behest of Hera. He was slain by Artemis and Apollo. This account of the birth of Apollo and Artemis is contradicted by Hesiod in Theogony, as the twins are born prior to Zeus's marriage to Hera. 149. Io and Argus, edit. The myth of Io has many forms and embellishments. Generally, Io was a priestess of Hera at the Heraion of Argus. Zeus lusted after her, and either Hera turned Io into a heifer to hide her from Zeus, or Zeus did so to hide her from Hera but was discovered. Hera had Io tethered to an olive tree and set Argus Panopts, lit. All seeing, to watch over her, but Zeus sent Hermes to kill him. 150. Infuriated, Hera then sent a gadfly, Greek oistros, compare oestrus, to pursue and constantly sting Io, who fled into Asia and eventually reached Egypt. There Zeus restored her to human form, and she gave birth to his son Epaphus. 150. Judgment of Paris, edit. Main article, Judgment of Paris. A prophecy stated that a son of the sea nymph Thetis, with whom Zeus fell in love after gazing upon her in the oceans off the Greek coast, would become greater than his father. 151, possibly for this reason. 152. Thetis was betrothed to an elderly human king, Peleus son of Aeacus. Either upon Zeus's orders, 153, or because she wished to please Hera, who had raised her. 154. All the gods and goddesses as well as various mortals were invited to the marriage of Peleus and Thetis, the eventual parents of Achilles, and brought many gifts. 155. Only Ares, goddess of discord, was not invited and was stopped at the door by Hermes, on Zeus's order. She was annoyed at this, so she threw from the door a gift of her own. 156. A golden apple inscribed with the word Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. This is one of the many works depicting the event. Hera is the goddess in the center, wearing the crown. Das Urteil des Paris by Anton Raphael Mengs, ca. 1757. English, Hermes, Athena, Zeus. Seated, Hera and Ars, all named. Side a Venatic black figure Necamphora, end of 6th century BC. BNF Museum, Paris. Callisti, to the fairest. 157. Aphrodite, Hera, and Athena all claimed to be the fairest, and thus the rightful owner of the apple. The goddesses quarreled bitterly over it, and none of the other gods would venture an opinion favoring one, for fear of earning the enmity of the other. 2. They chose to place the matter before Zeus, who, not wanting to favor one of the goddesses, put the choice into the hands of Paris, a Trojan prince. After bathing in the spring of Mount Ida where Troy was situated, they appeared before Paris to have him choose. The goddesses undressed before him, either at his request or for the sake of winning. Still, Paris could not decide, as all three were ideally beautiful, so they resorted to bribes. Hera offered Paris political power and control of all of Asia, while Athena offered wisdom, fame, and glory in battle, and Aphrodite offered the most beautiful mortal woman in the world as a wife, and he accordingly chose her. This woman was Helen, who was, unfortunately for Paris, already married to King Menelaus of Sparta. The other two goddesses were enraged by this, and through Helen's abduction by Paris, they brought about the Trojan War. The Iliad, edit. Hera plays a substantial role in the Iliad, appearing in several books. Throughout the epic poem, she hates the Trojans because of Paris's decision that Aphrodite was the most beautiful goddess, and so supports the Greeks during the war. Throughout the epic, Hera makes many attempts to thwart the Trojan army. In books 1 and 2, Hera declares that the Trojans must be destroyed. Hera persuades Athena to aid the Achaeans in battle, and she agrees to assist with interfering on their behalf. 158. In Book 5, Hera and Athena plot to harm Mars, who had been seen by Diomedes in assisting the Trojans. Diomedes called for his soldiers to fall back slowly. Hera, Ars's mother, saw Ars's interference and asked Zeus, Ars's father, for permission to drive Ars away from the battlefield. Hera encouraged Diomedes to attack Ars, and he threw his spear at the god. Athena drove the spear into Ars's body, and he bellowed in pain and fled to Mount Olympus, forcing the Trojans to fall back. 158. In Book 8, Hera tries to persuade Poseidon to disobey Zeus and help the Achaean army. He refuses, saying he doesn't want to go against Zeus. Determined to intervene in the war, Hera and Athena head to the battlefield. However, seeing the two flee, Zeus sent Iris to intercept them and make them return to Mount Olympus or face grave consequences. After prolonged fighting, Hera sees Poseidon aiding the Greeks and giving them the motivation to keep fighting. In Book 14, Hera devises a plan to deceive Zeus. Zeus set a decree that the gods were not allowed to interfere in the mortal war. Hera is on the side of the Achaeans, so she plans a deception of Zeus where she seduces him with help from Aphrodite, and tricks him into a deep sleep, with the help of Hypnos, so that the gods could interfere without the fear of Zeus. 159. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. Hera and Prometheus, Tondo of a 5th century BCE cup from Volsci, Etruria. In Book 21, Hera continues her interference with the battle as she tells Hephaestus to prevent the river from harming Achilles. Hephaestus sets the battlefield ablaze, causing the river to plead with Hera, promising her he will not help the Trojans if Hephaestus stops his attack. Hephaestus stops his assault and Hera returns to the battlefield where the gods begin to fight amongst themselves. After Apollo declines to battle Poseidon, Artemis eagerly engages Hera for a duel. Hera however treats the challenge as unimportant, easily disarming the haughty rival goddess and beating her with her own weapons. Artemis is left retreating back to Mount Olympus in tears to cry at Zeus's lap. 158. Minor Stories, edit. Semele and Dionysius, edit. See also, Dionysius' birth. When Hera learned that Semele, daughter of Cadmus king of the bees, was pregnant by Zeus, she disguised herself as Semele's nurse and persuaded the princess to insist that Zeus show himself to her in his true form. When he was compelled to do so, having sworn by Styx, 160, his thunder and lightning destroyed Semele. Zeus took Semele's unborn child, Dionysius, and completed its gestation sewn into his own thigh. In another version, Dionysius was originally the son of Zeus by either Demeter or Persephone. Hera sent her titans to rip the baby apart, from which he was called Zagreus, torn in pieces. Zeus rescued the heart, or the heart was saved, variously, by Athena, Rhea, or Demeter. 161. Zeus used the heart to recreate Dionysius and implant him in the womb of Semele, hence Dionysius became known as the twice-born. Certain versions imply that Zeus gave Semele the heart to eat to impregnate her. Hera tricked Semele into asking Zeus to reveal his true form, which killed her. Dionysius later managed to rescue his mother from the underworld and have her live on Mount Olympus. Lamia, edit. Lamia was a lovely queen of Libya, whom Zeus loved. Hera in jealousy robbed Lamia of their children, either by kidnapping and hiding them away, killing them, or causing Lamia herself to kill her own offspring. 162, 163, Lamia became disfigured from the torment, transforming into a terrifying being who hunted and killed the children of others. 164. Joanna, edit. Joanna was a queen of the Pygmies who boasted she was more beautiful than Hera. The wrathful goddess turned her into a crane and proclaimed that her bird descendants should wage eternal war on the Pygmy folk. 165. Sidip, edit. Sidip, a priestess of Hera, was on her way to a festival in the goddess's honor. The oxen which were to pull her cart were overdue and her sons, Biton and Cleobis, pulled the cart the entire way, 45 stadia, 8 kilometers. Sidip was impressed with their devotion to her and Hera, and so asked Hera to give her children the best gift a god could give a person. Hera ordained that the brothers would die in their sleep. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. Hera in the pediment of the Academy of Athens. This honor bestowed upon the children was later used by Solon as proof when trying to convince Croesus that it is impossible to judge a person's happiness until they have died a fruitful death after a joyous life. 166. Tiresias, edit. Tiresias was a priest of Zeus, and as a young man, he encountered two snakes mating and hit them with a stick. He was then transformed into a woman. As a woman, Tiresias became a priestess of Hera, married, and had children, including Manto. After 7 years as a woman, Tiresias again found mating snakes, depending on the myth, Either she made sure to leave the snakes alone this time, or, according to Hyginus, trampled on them and became a man once more. 167. As a result of his experiences, Zeus and Hera asked him to settle the question of which sex, male or female, experienced more pleasure during intercourse. Zeus claimed it was women, Hera claimed it was men. When Tiresias sided with Zeus, Hera struck him blind. 168. Since Zeus could not undo what she had done, he gave him the gift of prophecy. An alternative and less commonly told story has it that Tiresias was blinded by Athena after he stumbled onto her bathing naked. His mother, Chariclo, begged her to undo her curse, but Athena could not. She gave him a prophecy instead. Chelone, edit. At the marriage of Zeus and Hera, a nymph named Chelone was disrespectful or refused to attend the wedding. Zeus thus turned her into a tortoise. The Golden Fleece, edit. Hera hated Peleus because he had killed Sidero, his step-grandmother, in one of the goddess's temples. She later convinced Jason and Medea to kill Peleus. The Golden Fleece was the item that Jason needed to get his mother freed. Ixion, edit. When Zeus had pity on Ixion and brought him to Olympus and introduced him to the gods, instead of being grateful, Ixion grew lustful for Hera. Zeus found out about his intentions and made a cloud in the shape of Hera, who was later named Nephail, and tricked Ixion into coupling with it. From their union came Centaurus. So Ixion was expelled from Olympus and Zeus ordered Hermes to bind Ixion to a winged fiery wheel that was always spinning. Therefore, Ixion was bound to a burning solar wheel for all eternity, first spinning across the heavens, but in later myth transferred to Tartarus. 169. Children, edit. Name Father Functions Explanation. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. Angelos Zeus. An underworld goddess. Her story only survives in Scholia on Theocritus Idol 2. She was raised by nymphs. One day she stole Hera's anointments and gave them away to Europa. To escape her mother's wrath, she tried to hide. Hera eventually ceased prosecuting her, and Zeus ordered the Kabiroi to cleanse Angelos. They performed the purification rite in the waters of the Acherusia lake in the underworld. Consequently, she received the world of the dead as her realm of influence, and was assigned the epithet Katakthanya, she of the underworld. 170. As Zeus god of war according to Hesiod's Theogony, he was a son of Zeus and Hera. 171. As Zeus a nymph daughter of Zeus and Hera. 172. Chariots not named. Goddesses of grace and beauty. Though usually considered as the daughters of Zeus and Eurynome, or Dionysius and Coronis according to Nonnus, 173, the poet Calithus makes them the daughters of Hera, without naming a father. 174. Aletheia Zeus, goddess of childbirth. In Theogony and other sources, she is described as a daughter of Hera by Zeus. 171, although the meticulously accurate mythographer Pindar in 7th Nemenode mentions Hera as Aletheia's mother but makes no mention of Zeus. Eleutheria Zeus, personification of liberty. Eleutheria is the Greek counterpart of Libertas, Liberty, daughter of Jupiter, Zeus, and Juno, Hera, as cited in Hyginus, Fabulae Preface. Zeus, a war goddess. She was responsible for the destruction of cities and an attendant of Ars, though Homer equates Enio with Ares. Ares Zeus. Goddess of discord. She appears in Homer's Iliad Book 4, equated with Enio as the sister of Ars and so presumably the daughter of Zeus and Hera. Alternatively, Hesiod refers to Ares as the daughter of Nyx in both Works and Days. And Theogony. Hebzeus. Goddess of youth. She was a daughter of Zeus and Hera. 175, in a rare alternative version. Hera alone produced Heb after being impregnated by eating lettuce. 168. Hephaestus Zeus. God of fire and the forge. Attested by the Greek poet Hesiod, Hera was jealous of Zeus's giving birth to Athena with Metis, so she gave birth to Hephaestus without union with Zeus. 176, though Homer has Hephaestus refer to father Zeus. 177. Hera was then disgusted with Hephaestus's ugliness and threw him from Mount Olympus. 178, in a version of the myth. 179, 180. Hephaestus gained revenge against Hera for rejecting him by making her a magical throne that did not allow her to leave once she sat on it. 178. The other gods begged Hephaestus to return to Olympus to let her go, but he repeatedly refused. 180. Dionysius got him drunk and took him back to Olympus on the back of a mule. 181. Hephaestus released Hera after being given Aphrodite as his wife. 182. Pasithea. Dionysius. One of the Graces. Although in other works Pasithea doesn't seem to be born to Hera. Nonnus made the Grace Hera's daughter. 183. Elsewhere in the book, Pasithea's father is said to be Dionysius. 184, but it's unclear whether those two together are meant to be Pasithea's parents. Note 1. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. Hide. Prometheus Eurymedon. God of forethought. Although usually Prometheus is said to be the son of Iapetus by his wife Clemen, 189, or Asia, 190, Hellenistic poet Euphorion made Prometheus the son of Hera by the giant Eurymedon, who raped the young goddess while she was still living with her parents. 191, 192. Typhon. Serpent. Monster. Typhon is presented both as the son of Hera, in Homeric Pythian hymn to Apollo, and as the son of Gaia, in Hesiod's Theogony. 193, according to the Homeric hymn to Apollo, 6th century BCE, Typhon was the parthenogenous child of Hera, whom she bore alone as a revenge at Zeus, who had given birth to Athena. Hera prayed to Gaia to give her a son as strong as Zeus, then slapped the ground and became pregnant. 194. Hera gave the infant Typhon to the serpent Python to raise, and Typhon grew up to become a great bane to mortals. 195. The Biscolia to Iliad 2.783, however, has Typhon born in Cilicia as the offspring of Cronus. Gaia, angry at the destruction of the giants, slanders Zeus to Hera. So Hera goes to Cronus and he gives her 2 eggs smeared with his own semen, telling her to bury them, and that from them would be born one who would overthrow Zeus. Hera, angry at Zeus, buries the eggs in Cilicia under Arimon, but when Typhon is born, Hera, now reconciled with Zeus, informs him. 196. Genealogy, edit. Hera's family tree, 197. Uranus Gaia. Uranus genitals Cronus Rhea. Zeus Hera Poseidon Hades Demeter Hestia. A. 198. B. 199. Ars Hephaestus. Metis. Athena, 200. Leto. Apollo Artemis. Maya. Hermes. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. Semel. Dionysius. Dion. A. 201. B. 202. Aphrodite. Art and Events, edit. Barberini Hera, a Roman sculpture of Hera / Juno. Hera Borghese, a sculpture related to Hera. Hera Faranese, a sculpture of Hera's head. Heria Games, games dedicated to Hera, the first sanctioned, and recorded, women's athletic competition. To be held in the stadium at Olympia. See also, edit. Ancient Greece Portal Myths Portal Religion Portal. Aurumbla, a primeval cow in Norse mythology. Parvati. Footnotes, edit. 1. Throughout the epic, Nonnus gives conflicting parentages of various characters, for example Heliosa's daughter. Astrissa's mother in Book 17, 185, seems to be Clemen while it's Ceto in Book 26, 186, and Leontos's daughter Auras. Mother is Cybele in Book 1, 187, but Peribea in Book 48. 188, moreover, Pasithea is described as one of the Graces. And elsewhere in the poem the Graces' parents are given as Dionysius and Coronis. 173. Notes, edit. 1. ABCDEFG Elderkin, 1937, The Marriage of Zeus with Hera. 2. Larousse Desk Reference Encyclopedia, The Book People, Haydock, 1995, p. 215. 3. LSJSV. 4. Plato, Cratylus, 404c. 5. On Isis and Osiris, 32. 6. AB Greek Religion, pp. 131132. 7. Chadwick, The Mycenaean World, Cambridge University Press. 1976:87. 8. Windicans, Inglotta 36, 1958, pp. 30911. 9. RSP Beeks, Etymological Dictionary of Greek, Brill, 2009, p. 524. 10. The Linear B Word Era. Paleolexicon. Word study tool of ancient languages. Rimour, K.A. Era. Minoan. Linear and Mycenaean Linear B Dediterranean. Archived from the original on the 22nd of March, 2016. Retrieved the 13th of March, 2014. 11. Blake, Vaclav. Artemis and Her Family. In Greco-Latina Brunensia Volume 21, Is. 2, 2016. p. 47. ISSN 2336. 4424. 12 Willie, Andreas, the 1st of December, 2010. Hera, Eros, Ianosauraya. Indogermanistverchungen. 115, 2010 234. 267 do. 10.1545/9783110222814.1.234. S2 SID 1707122165. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. 13 Van der Toorn, Karel, Becking, Bob, van der Horst, Pieter Willem, 1999, Dictionary of Deities and Demons in the Bible, 2nd ed., Grand Rapids, Michigan, William B. Edmonds Publishing Company, ISBN 0-8000-2491-9, 1. p.401-402. 14 AB von L. Kulzai, p.195. 15 ABCDEFGHI Nilsson, Cheschekt, Volai, p.428-429. 16 ABCDEFGHIJK von L. Kulzai, 194-197. 17 ABC Pausanias, Description of Greece, 9.2.7-9.3.2. 18 ABCDEFGHIJKL von L. Kulzai, 241-243. 19 ABCDEF von L. Kulzai, 249-254. 20 ABC Pausanias 8.22.2. 21 22 A Dictionary of Greek and Roman Biography and Mythology, Zygia and Zygius. 23 Pausanias 5.15.1. 24 ABCDEFGH von L. Kulzai, 246-252. 25 James Joseph Claus, Sarah Ilse Johnston. Mede, Essays on Mede in Myth, Literature, Philosophy, and Art. 1997 46 p. 26 Pausanias 2.24.1. 27 Henry George Liddell, Robert Scott. A Greek-English Lexicon. 28 Heinrich Schliemann. Ilios, The City and Country of the Trojans, 1881. 29 Suda, Alpha, 2504. 30 Pausanias 2.22.1. 31 32 H.G. Payne, Parakara 1940, Nilsson, Volai, p.428-1. 33 A Dictionary of Greek and Roman Biography and Mythology, Pelaska. 34 Pausanias 3.15.7. 35 AB von L. Kulzai, p.247. 36 Hesch. Thelxenia Hera is honored by the Athenians. 37 38 Pausanias 5.15.5. 39 Pausanias 6.13.1. 40 41 AB Nilsson, Volai, p.412. 42 43 Diodorus Siculus, Library, 5.55.1. 44 Pausanias 3.13.8. 45 ABCDE Dietrich, 1975, The Origins of Greek Religion, p.178 p.178. 46 ABCDE O'Brien, Joan v. 1993. The Transformation of Hera, A Study of Ritual, Hero, and the goddess in the Iliad. Roman and Littlefield. pp. 4-6. ISBN 978-0-8476-7808-2. 47 ABC West, 2007, Indo-European Poetry and Myth, p.184-185p.185. 48 ABC Kirk, Raven Schofield, 1975, The Presocratic Philosophers, p.57-58. 49 AB Leeming Fee the Goddess. Myths of the Great Mother, p.17-18. 50 Burkert, 1985, Greek Religion, p.43-45, ID equals XRBTX6 show C and print sec equals front cover hash V equals 1 upage and Q and F equals false p.43-45. 51 Iliad 4.8. 52 Jess-cheeked, vol I, pp. 350,428. 53 Ischylus Suppliant Maidens, 297. 54 O'Brien Joan, 1993, The Transformation of Hera 49p. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. 55 Chadwick, John, 1976. The Mycenaean World. Cambridge, UK, Cambridge University Press. ISBN 978-0-521. 29037-195p. 56 Burkert, 1985, Greek Religion, p. 64. 57 Iliad 14.295. 58 Fonel Kultsai, p.185. 59 AB Burkert, 1985, Greek Religion, p. 17-18. 60 ABC Burkert, 1998, Greek Religion, p.129-134. 61 AB Burkert, 1985, Greek Religion, 52p. 62 ABC O'Brien Joan, 1993, The Transformation of Hera, p.53-57. 63 ABC Bremer, Jan N. 2008. Greek Religion and Culture, the Bible, and the Ancient Near East. Brill. ISBN 978-904-16473-4p.187. 64 I Burkert, 1985, Greek Religion p.63. 65 ABC de Skachome, 1964, Die Minoische des Alten Kreta, p. 308-310. 66 Roska, 1875, Studien z. and Mythologie der Griechen und Roma 2, Juno und Hera. p. 40387, Nilsson. Jess-cheeked, Volume I, p. 432. 67 Euripides Chrysippos fr.839 Nilsson Jess-cheeked Vol I p. 460. 68 Fonel, Kultsai, p. 182. 69 AB Homer, 751. BCE 651. BCE, the 1st of June, 2000. The Iliad. Translated by Butler, Samuel. 70 Nilsson, Jess-cheeked, Vol I, p. 427-428. 71 Henry George Liddell, Robert Scott, A Greek-English Lexicon, on Perseus Digital Library. 72 Fonel, Kultsai, p.197-198. 73 Martin Persson Nilsson, The Minoan Mycenaean Religion and Its Survival in Greek Religion, Lund, 1950 pti.2. House Sanctuaries, pp 77-116, H. W. Catterling, A Late Bronze Age House or Sanctuary Model from the Menlion. Sparta BSA 84, 1989, 171-175. 74 Burkert, p. 132, including quote, Burkert, Orientalizing Revolution. 75 Pausanias, Description of Greece 3.13.6. 76 Her name appears, with Zeus and Hermes, in a Linear B inscription, TN 316, at Mycenaean Pylos, John Chadwick. The Mycenaean World, Cambridge University Press, 1976:89. 77 PC. Sestirai, Paestum, the city, the prehistoric Acropolis in Contrada Gordo, and the Heraion at the mouth of the Sil, Rome 1960, p11, etc. It is odd that there was no temple dedicated to Poseidon in a city named for him. Paestum was originally called Poseidonia. Perhaps there was one at Sil, the settlement that preceded Paestum. Sarantis Simonoglau suggested, Simonoglau, the Doric temples of Paestum. Journal of Aesthetic Education. 19.1, Special Issue, Paestum and Classical Culture, Past and Present, Spring 1985:49-66, p50. 78 A.B. Burkert, 1998, Greek Religion p.63. 79 Kyrillas, H. 1993. The Heraion at Samos. p.128. 80 The Goddesses of Greek Polytheism, So Different and Complementary, Greek Mythology scholar Walter Burkert has observed, in Homonicans, 1972, 1983:79f, are nonetheless consistently similar at an earlier stage, with one or the other simply becoming dominant in a sanctuary or city. Each is the great goddess presiding over a male society, each is depicted in her attire as Potnia Theron, mistress of the beasts, and mistress of the sacrifice, even Hera and Demeter. 81 Curie, Charles Francis. Outlines of Primitive Belief Among the Indo-European Races. New York, C. Subner's Sons. 1882 p. 176. 82 Rinhan, Robert. Hera as Earth Goddess, A New Piece of Evidence. In Rheinisches Museum für Philologie Neufolge, 117. BD, H. 3/4, 1974, pp. 193-201. 2. 83 A.B. Harrison, Jane Ellen. Myths of Greece and Rome. 1928 pp. 12-14. 84 Curie, Charles Francis. Outlines of Primitive Belief Among the Indo-European Races. New York, C. Subner's Sons. 1882 p. 176, footnote NR2. 85 A.B. West, 2007, Indo-European Poetry and Myth 174-175. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. 86 A.B. Homer, Iliad 19.95 ff. 87 Iliad, 2. 781-783. 88 Bachufen, Muttericht 1861, as Mother Right, an investigation of the religious and juridical character of matriarchy. in the ancient world. Bachofen was seminal in the writings of Jane Ellen Harrison and other students of Greek myth. 89 Slater 1968. 90 C, for example, the following. Cynthia Eller, The Myth of Matriarchal Prehistory, Why an Invented Past Won't Give Women a Future, Boston. Beacon Press, 2001. Encyclopedia Britannica describes this view as consensus, listing matriarchy as a hypothetical social system. Matriarchy Encyclopedia Britannica, 2007. 91 Burkert, 1985, Greek Religion, 41 p. 92 A. B. Fonnell, Cults I 191-193. 93 Pausanias, 9.2.7-9.3.3 archived 6 November, 2015 at the Wayback Machine. Pausanias explains this by telling the myth of the Daedala. 94 Fonnell, I 194, citing Pausanias 8.22.2 archived 6 November 2015 at the Wayback Machine. Pindar refers to the praises of Hera Parthenia, the maidenly, Olympia Node 6.88 archived 6 November 2015 at the Wayback Machine. 95 Escassorn, Hera of Canathos and the Ludovisi Throne. The Journal of Hellenic Studies 40.2, 1920, pp. 137-142. Citing Stephanus of Byzantium Subaneion. 96 A. B. Pausanias, 2.38.2-3 archived 6 November 2015 at the Wayback Machine. 97 O'Brien Joan, 1993, The Transformation of Hera, p. 54-55. 98 Robert Graves, 1955, The Greek Myths. 99 Barbara G. Walker, 1983, The Women's Encyclopedia of Myths and Secrets, p. 392 ISBN 0-06-250925-X. 100 Claude Calame, 1977, Choruses of Young Women in Ancient Greece, 2.126-133. 101 A. B. Claude Calame, 2001, Choruses of Young Women in Ancient Greece p. 17-18. 102 Comp. The Myth of Typhon, Nilsson, Gestschickt, Vol. I. p. 432. 103 O'Brien, 1993, The Transformation of Hera, 36 p. 104 A. B. C. O'Brien, 1993, The Transformation of Hera, p. 60-61. 105 A. B. C. D. E. Fonnell Cults I, p. 185-187. 106 Nilsson, Gestschickt, Vol. I, p. 430. 107 Pausanias 2,17.1. 108 Fonnell Cults I, p. 201-202. 109 Nilsson, Gestschickt, Vol. I, p. 430. 110 Matthew Dillon, 2002, Girls and Women in Ancient Greek Religion p. 131. 111 A. B. Fonnell, Cults I, p. 188-190. 112 Searwind Nancy, 1993, Hera and the Prenuptial Initiation. 113 Sejnek, Jean, The Survival of the Pagan Gods, Mythological Tradition in Renaissance Humanism and Art, 1953. 114 Spivey p. 109. 115 carat Robertson P 62 to 63,324. 116 carat Spivey, 135 to 139. 117 carat excavations of Mon Repos University of Nebraska. Excavations at Mon Repos. 118 carat Robertson P. 95,331. 119 carat Robertson P. 95-97,332. 120 carat Robertson 327. 121 carat Robertson, P 75,325. 122 carat Robertson, pp. 136,327. 123 carat Robertson 327. 124 carat Baumbach 2004, 78. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. 125 carat Robertson 328. 126 carat Hansen, P67, Hesiod, Theogony 4539. 127 carat Kronos Greek god. Encyclopedia Britannica. Retrieved 4 December 2016. 128 carat Pausanias, 2.17.1. 129 carat Homer, Iliad 14. 200 ff. https://www.thea.com/titan/titan is #sign creation. 130 carat Homer, Iliad 14.295299. 131 carat Pausanias, description of Greece 2.17.4. 132 carat Scholia on Theocritus Idyls 15.64. 133 carat Ptolemaious Genus, New History Book 6, as epitomized by Patriarch Photius in his Myria Bibline 190.47. 134 carat Eusebius, Preparatio Evangelica 3.1.84 AB, hard, p. 137. 135 carat Callimachus, Aetia fragment 48. 136 carat Apollodorus, Library 2 May 2011. 137 carat Murray 1842, p. 313. 138 carat Diodorus Siculus, Library of History 4.14.4. 139 carat Pausanias, Description of Greece 9.11.3. 140 carat Evslin, Bernard, the 30th of October 2012. Gods, Demigods and Demons, an Encyclopedia of Greek Mythology. Open Road Media. ISBN 978-1-4532-6438-6. 141 carat Mandowski, Anna, 1938. The Origin of the Milky Way in the National Gallery. The Burlington Magazine for Connoisseurs. 72, 419-88-93. JSTOR 867,195. 142 carat Anonymous, 1806. Geoponica, Agricultural Pursuits. Volume 2. Translated by Thomas Owen. London. pp. 81-82. 143 carat Kerenii, p. 131. 144 carat Gaius Julius Hyginus, Fabulae 140. 145 Hammond. Oxford Classical Dictionary. 597 to 598. 146 Fries 1911, p. 184. 147 A. B. Rutherford, Ian, 1988. Pindar on the Birth of Apollo. The Classical Quarterly. 38, 165-75. Do. 10.1000983880003127x. JSTOR 639206. S2 SID 1702722842. 148 Pseudo-Apollodorus, Bibliothek 1.4.1, Antoninus Liberalis, Metamorphoses, 35, giving as his sources Menecrates of Xanthos, 4th century BCE, and Nicander of Colophon, Ovid, Metamorphoses 6.317-81 provides another late literary source. 149 Hesiod. Theogony. pp. line 918. 150 A. B. Dowden, Ken, 1996. Io. In Hornblower and Sporforth, ed. The Oxford Classical Dictionary, 3rd ed. Oxford. Oxford University Press. pp. 762763. ISBN 0-19-866172-X. 151 Scholiast on Homer's Iliad, Hyginus, Fabulae 54, Ovid, Metamorphoses 11.217. 152 Apollodorus, 3.168. 153 Pindar, Nemine 5 EP2, Pindar, Isthmian 8 STR3 STR5. 154 Hesiod, Catalogue of Women FR 57, Cypria FR 4. 155 Photius, Mrobiblion 190. 156 Hyginus, Fabulae 92. 157 Apollodorus, E.3.2. 158 ABC Homer. The Iliad. 159 Homer. Iliad, Book 14, lines 153 to 353. 160 Hamilton, Edith, 1969. Mythology. 161 Seifert Dictionary. 162 Johnston, Sarah Ills, ed. 2013. Restless Dead, Encounters Between the Living and the Dead in Ancient Greece. Univ of California Press. p. 174. ISBN 978-0-520-28018-2. 163 Ogden, 2013 b. p. 98, because of Hera, she lost, or destroyed, the children she bore. 164 Duris of Samos, d. 280 BC, Libica, quoted by Ogden, 2013 b. p. 98. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. 165 Ovid, Metamorphoses 6.89, 91. 166 Herodotus History, Book I. 167 Hygiene, Fabulae, LXXV. 168 A.B. Detienne, Marcel, the 25th of November, 2002. The Writing of Orpheus, Greek Myth in Cultural Context. JHU Press. ISBN 978-0-8018-6954-9. 169 Karenii 1951, p.160. 170 Scholia on Theocritus, Idol 2. 12 referring to Sophron. 171 AB Theogony 921922. 172 Murray, John, 1833. A Classical Manual, being a mythological, historical and geographical commentary on popes. Homer, and Dryden's Aeneid of Virgil with a copious index. Albemarle Street, London. p. 8. 173 AB Nonnus, Dionysiaca 48.548. 174 Calathus, Rape of Helen 173. 175 Hesiod, Theogony 921922, Homer, Odyssey 11. 604605, Pindar, Isthmian 4.5960, Apollodorus, 1.3.1. And later authors. 176 Theogony 924929. 177 in Homer, Odyssey 8. 312 Hephaestus addresses Father Zeus, compare. Homer, Iliad I 578. Some scholars, such as Gantz, Early Greek Myth, p. 74, note that Hephaestus's reference to Zeus as father here may be a general title. 14. 338, 18. 396, Xi. 332. See also Cicero, De Natura Deorum 3.22. 178 AB Doris, Sarah, 6 June 2013. Examining the Hephaestus myth through a disability studies perspective. Prandium, The Journal of Historical Studies at University of Toronto Mississauga. 2, 1. Archived from the original on 20th of December 2016. Retrieved 9th of December 2016. 179 Guy Hedreen, 2004, The Return of Hephaestus, Dionysiac Processional Ritual and the Creation of a Visual Narrative. The Journal of Hellenic Studies, 124, 2004:3864, p. 38 and note. 180 AB Karl Kerenii, 1951, The Gods of the Greeks, pp 156158. 181 The Return of Hephaestus on muleback to Olympus accompanied by Dionysius was a theme of the Attic vase painters, whose wares were favored by Etruscans. The Return of Hephaestus was painted on the Etruscan tomb at the Grotta Campana near Veii, identified by Peterson. The well-known subject was doubted in this instance by A. M. Harmon. The paintings of the Grotta Campana, American Journal of Archaeology 16.1, January, March 1912 1-10, 4. Further examples, see Hephaestus / Return to Olympus. 182 Slater 1968, pp. 199200. 183 Nonnus, Dionysiaca 31.186. 184 Nonnus, Dionysiaca 15.91. 185 Nonnus, Dionysiaca 17.280. 186 Nonnus, Dionysiaca 26.355. 187 Nonnus, Dionysiaca 1.27. 188 Nonnus, Dionysiaca 48.247. 189 Hesiod, Theogony 507. 190 Apollodorus, Bibliotheca 1.2.2. 191 Scholium on the Iliad 14.295. 192 Gantz, pp. 16, 57, Hard, p. 88. 193 Decker, Jessica Elbert, the 16th of November 2016. Hail Hera, Mother of Monsters. Monstrosity as emblem of sexual sovereignty. Women's Studies. 45, 8743757 10.1080477878.2016.1232021. ISSN 0049-7878. S2 SID 1514825537. 194 Homeric Hymn to Apollo 306348. Stesichorus, Fragment 239, Campbell, pp 166167, also has Hera produce. Typhon alone to spite Zeus. 195 Gantz, p. 49, remarks on the strangeness of such a description for one who would challenge the gods. 196 Kirk, Raven, and Schofield. pp. 5960-52, Ogden 2013b, pp. 3638, Gantz, pp. 5051, Ogden 2013a, p. 76. N46. 197 This chart is based upon Hesiod's Theogony, unless otherwise noted. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. 198 According to Homer, Iliad 1.57579, 14.338, Odyssey 8.312. Hephaestus was apparently the son of Hera and Zeus, see Gantz, p. 74. 199 According to Hesiod, Theogony 927929, Hephaestus was produced by Hera alone, with no father, see Gantz, p. 74. 200 According to Hesiod, Theogony 886890, of Zeus's children by his 7 wives, Athena was the first to be conceived, but the last to be born. Zeus impregnated Metis, then swallowed her. Later Zeus himself gave birth to Athena. From his head, see Gantz, pp. 51-52, 83-84. 201 According to Hesiod, Theogony 183200, Aphrodite was born from Uranus's severed genitals, see Gantz, pp. 99. 100. 202 According to Homer, Aphrodite was the daughter of Zeus, Iliad 3.374, 20.105, Odyssey 8.308, 320, and Dion, Iliad 5.37071, see Gantz, pp. 99-100. References, edit. Apollodorus, The Library, with an English translation by Sir James George Fraser, FBA, FRS. In 2 volumes. Cambridge, Ma, Harvard University Press, London, William Heinemann Limited 1921. Online. Version at the Perseus Digital Library. Bremer, Jan N. 2008. Greek Religion and Culture, the Bible, and the Ancient Near East. Brill. ISBN 978-900416473. Burkert, Walter, 1998. Greek Religion. Cambridge, Mass., Harvard University Press. ISBN 978-0-674-36281. 9. Burkert, Walter, Greek Religion 1985. Burkert, Walter, The Orientalizing Revolution, Near Eastern Influence on Greek Culture in the Early Archaic Age, 1998. Dietrich Bernard Clive, 1974, The Origins of the Greek Religion, 3, Walter de Gruyter ISBN 311-0003-9826. Elderkin, G.W. 1 July 1937. The Marriage of Zeus and Hera and Its Symbol. American Journal of Archaeology. 41, 3. University of Chicago Press, 424435. Do. 10.2307/498508. ISSN 0002-9114. JSTOR 498508. S2 SID 1914154446. Evelyn White, Hugh, The Homeric Hymns and Homerica with an English translation by Hugh G. Evelyn White. Homeric Hymns. Cambridge, Massachusetts, Harvard University Press, London, William Heinemann. Limited 1914. Fonnell, Lewis Richard, 1896, The Cults of the Greek States I, Oxford, 4. This article incorporates text from a publication now in the public domain. Fries, John Henry, 1911. Apollo. In Chisholm, Hugh, ed. Encyclopaedia Britannica. Volume 2, 11th ed. Cambridge University Press. pp. 184186. Gantz, Timothy, Early Greek Myth, A Guide to Literary and Artistic Sources, Johns Hopkins University Press. 1996, 2 volumes, ISBN 978-0-8018-5360-9, Volume 1, ISBN 978-0-8018-5362-3, Volume 2. Graves, Robert, The Greek Myths 1955. Use with caution. Hard, Robin, The Routledge Handbook of Greek Mythology, based on H.J. Rose's Handbook of Greek Mythology, Psychology Press, 2004, ISBN 978-0-415-18636-0. Google Books. Hesiod, Theogony, in the Homeric Hymns and Homerica with an English translation by Hugh G. Evelyn White, Cambridge, Ma, Harvard University Press, London, William Heinemann Limited 1914. Online version at the Perseus Digital Library. Homer, The Iliad with an English translation by A.T. Murray, Ph.D. in 2 volumes. Cambridge, Ma, Harvard University Press, London, William Heinemann, Limited 1924. Online version at the Perseus Digital Library. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. Homer, The Odyssey with an English translation by A.T. Murray, Ph.D. in 2 volumes. Cambridge, Ma. Harvard University Press, London, William Heinemann, Limited 1919. Online version at the Perseus Digital Library. Hyginus, Gaius Julius, The Myths of Hyginus. Edited and translated by Maria Grant, Lawrence, University of Kansas Press, 1960. Kerenyi, Carl, The Gods of the Greeks, 1951, paperback, 1980. Kerenyi, Carl, 1959. The Heroes of the Greeks, especially Heracles. Kirk, G.S., J.E. Raven, M. Schofield, The Presocratic Philosophers, A Critical History with a Selection of Texts, Cambridge University Press, 29 December, 1983. ISBN 978-0-521-27455-5. F.C. Leeming, David, Fee, Christopher, 2016. The Goddess, Myths of the Great Mother. Reaction Books. ISBN 978-1-78023-538-7. Murray, John, 1842. A Dictionary of Greek and Roman Antiquities, edited by William Smith. London, Taylor and Walton. Nonus, Dionysiaca, translated by Rouse, W.H.D., 3 books. Xvik Slate. Loeb Classical Library No. 346. Cambridge, Massachusetts, Harvard University Press, London, William Heinemann Limited, 1940. Internet Archive. O'Brien, Joan V. 1993. The Transformation of Hera, A Study of Ritual, Hero, and the Goddess in the Iliad. Rowman and Littlefield. ISBN 978-0-8476-7808-2. Ogden, Daniel, 2013. A. Dracan, Dragon Myth and Serpent Cult in the Greek and Roman Worlds, Oxford University Press, 2013. ISBN 978-0-19-955732-5. Ogden, Daniel, 2013. B. Dragons, Serpents, and Slayers in the Classical and Early Christian Worlds, A. Sourcebook, Oxford University Press. ISBN 978-0-19-992509-4. Ovid, Metamorphoses. Translated by A. D. Melville, Introduction and Notes by E. J. Kenny. Oxford, Oxford University Press. 2008. ISBN 978-0-19-953737-2. Pausanias Description of Greece with an English translation by W.H.S. Jones, Lit.D, and H.A. Ormerod, M.A., in 4 volumes. Cambridge, Ma, Harvard University Press, London, William Heinemann Limited. 1918 online version at the Perseus Digital Library. Pindar, Odes, Diane Anson Svalian. 1990. Online version at the Perseus Digital Library. Robertson D.S., A Handbook of Greek and Roman Architecture. Cambridge at the University Press. 1945. Ruck, Carl A. P., and Danny Staples, The World of Classical Myth, 1994. Seifert, Oscar. Dictionary of Classical Antiquities, 1894. Online text. Sejnek, Jean, The Survival of the Pagan Gods, Mythological Tradition in Renaissance Humanism and Art. 1953. Slater, Philip E. The Glory of Hera, Greek Mythology and the Greek Family, Boston, Beacon Press, 1968. Princeton University, 1992. ISBN 0-691-00222-3, concentrating on family structure in 5th century Athens. Some of the crude usage of myth and drama for psychological interpreting of neuroses is dated. Smith, William, Dictionary of Greek and Roman Biography and Mythology, London, 1873. Galen Thiers. West, Martin Litchfield, 2007, Indo-European Poetry and Myth, Oxford University Press, ISBN 978-0-19. 928075-9. Spivey, Nigel, Greek Art. Phaidon Press Limited. 1997. External links, edit. Thea Project, Hera in Classical Literature and Greek Art. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. The Hera at Samos. The Warburg Institute Iconographic Database, Images of Hera. Categories: Hera, children of Cronus, marriage goddesses, queens in Greek mythology. Metamorphoses, characters, deities in the Iliad, mythological rape victims, mythology of Heracles. Divine women of Zeus, characters in the Odyssey, deities in the Aeneid, Greek goddesses. Queens of heaven, antiquity, mothers of the 12 Olympians, childhood goddesses. Characters in the Argonautica, household deities, domestic and hearth deities, women of the Trojan War. Health deities, health goddesses, 12 Olympians, shapeshifters in Greek mythology, cattle deities. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF.